Yo! Hey, my friend, come here. Say hi to the people. Hi, what's up? Good vibes and drinks. How are you doing today, my friend? It's a pleasure to be joined by you. Lots of love and respect, good vibes creature. You see, my friend, good vibes soul. Today, we plan on spreading love to the whole world. Peace, honesty, forgiveness, and unity. And how do we plan on doing that? Well, my friend, by reacting together. Yes, together, me and you, to extremely good vibes videos that have been compiled for us here, my friend, all with the intentions of spreading our message. So, good vibes soul, I would request you to join us by hitting that subscribe button if you have never. You see, now I would also continue by proceeding to read from the book of wisdom, which, my friend, guides us in this life and adds knowledge to our day-to-day life. Hey, friend, hold the book well. Yeah, this book, my friend, has served us quite some time. My friend started using it when he was still a boy. That's why it looks this way. So, our word of today, this is what it says. The Lord is with me. He is my helper. I will look in triumph on my enemies. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in man. It is better to take refuge in the Lord than to trust in princes. All the nations surrounded me, but in the name of the Lord I cut them off. Good vibe soul. This one is from Psalm 118 from 5 going down. Let's give thanks to our Creator also. Thank you, dear Lord, Father, for this minute, dear Lord. Thank you for gathering us here in unity and in love, Father. Together with this good vibe soul, Father, we ask for your forgiveness of all our sins which we may have committed knowingly and unknowingly, Father. Fill us with your spirit, guide us through reacting to these videos, Father, and help us to spread our message to the whole world as you would have wished, dear Lord. As we do that also, please work in our lives, Father, and touch all the sides that may not be okay. In Jesus' mighty name, we do pray, trusting and believing. Amen. Let's dive in a good way. So, hey, my friend. Oh, let's dive in.
I would urge you to be very specific in your prayers when you're praying against something. That's what the Psalms teach us. Psalm 60, for instance, mentions Edom and Moab and Philistia by name. The Israelites don't just make reference to kind of vague or generic enemies, but there is a specificity as to what they are praying for and what they are praying against. At the end, it says, vain is the salvation of man, but through God we shall do valiantly. He only is our hope. And what a lesson then for us. One of you may pray, oh Lord, my foe is pornography. Vain is the salvation of man, but through God I shall do valiantly. Through God I shall conquer. Another one of you prays, Heavenly Father, my enemy is alcohol. Vain is the salvation of man, but through God I shall do valiantly. My hope is in you. Whatever your enemy, whatever your foe, whatever your temptation, whatever your addiction, whatever it is that you are praying against, I would urge you to be very specific when you are praying, and in that way emulate the Psalms. Vain is the salvation of man. But the salvation that we have in Jesus Christ is the power of God. The gospel is the power of God for the salvation of everyone who believes. God will hear this very specific prayer and give us the answer to it. He will give us strength in our weakness. He will give us forgiveness when we sin, and he will uphold us by his mercy.
Let's fucking talk about this video right here from this creator right here, Trinks001. This video freaked me the fuck out because I don't think this is common knowledge. I think I spoke to at least 5 different people and none of them knew what the fuck I was talking about. So let me elaborate a little bit on what that video is if you guys haven't already came across it in your guys' For You page. So they're talking about the dangers of still water, and I think that for people who like to travel a lot or people who go hiking a lot, I think it's something that is probably common knowledge for them, but if you guys live in a suburban area or you guys are barely getting into hiking, I don't think that this particular knowledge is like well known, if that makes sense. So you can come across large bodies of water in these caves and stuff. So basically they were showing this in that video. They were showing like different types of caves that have water so clear, guys, you can see the bottom of like the floor of the cave. And everyone's first reaction is like, oh my god, this is like beautiful, because it looks super beautiful. And that's the crazy part of it all, is that it's literally like fool's gold. Like, it looks so clear. It looks like, man, it hasn't been touched. Like, this water is holy, girl. But apparently it is with so much pathogens, parasites, viruses that can literally fucking kill you. And I feel like most people who aren't knowledgeable in that comes across a cave like that, their first instinct is to probably put their hands in it or to throw something at it to see how deep it is, or to see if any like animals, you know, start to move around to see if there's anything in the water. Well, apparently throwing a fucking rock or any object in that type of still water releases gases that end up going into your lungs and killing you or getting you very severely sick. Mind you, I think that it's common for people to be like, oh, I don't want to go into this water because it looks dirty, but this water looks so clear. And the fact that there's a lot of caves that have still water that have been there for thousands of years, hundreds of years, and it is infested, even though it looks crystal clear, it's going to kill you type shit. So if you guys ever were to come across water that looks crystal clear, do not fucking get in that water. Do not even drink that water. Don't even throw shit at that water. Now that I've learned that, and I googled everything that person was saying, and everything was fucking true, and that's what fucking freaked me out the most, because there's a lot of bullshit on TikTok, so you gotta fact check a lot of shit. But I'm like, whoa, that fucking scares the fuck out of me. Like, nature is such a scary fucking place, especially because people that are in the city have no idea how fucking scary it is out here. Well, out there, I should say. Another thing that I want to mention is, like, a lot of people are gonna probably be like, that's super common knowledge, this and that. Well, I'm in the city. I'd ask 5 people, no one knew what the fuck I was talking about. And not only that, but another telltale sign also, but I don't think that people will think about it if they were to find something like that and they don't know about it, is there's no animals there. There's no animals there. There's no fish in the water. And that's usually also a sign. If animals aren't in the water, it's most likely fucking deadly water. Because why wouldn't fish thrive in there? Why wouldn't animals go in there to drink? You know what I'm saying? So that's another telltale sign. But I think that once you're there, like, if you were to even come across something like that, in reality, as humans, we're so impulsive. Like, we think about shit later, and yeah, no, that freaked me the fuck out. I'm good off getting into bodies of water, and I will never try to explore and get into water and none of that. Like, fuck all that. Get a brain-eating amoeba, I'm good. Like, what?
This is the ground plans of the Louisiana Purchase explosion. St. Louis, Missouri, 1904. Keyword 1904. Now first look at look at that. You see how the south is up north and the north is down south and the west is east and the east is west. So you see how they flipped already? They didn't flip the compass. So now everybody's direction is off whenever they're looking for something particularly, or whenever they're trying to see where something is or what something is. So key word that I want people to see, yeah, because north ain't south and south ain't north and east ain't west and west ain't east. Little do people know, so they kind of got your brains a little going. Now, I want you to notice there were a lot of things that were over here. Ground plans, it says 1904, right? So Morocco wasn't even founded till 1952. So what is this? You sure this ain't the ancient Jerusalem and ancient Morocco right over here next to Illinois? California was right over here, Temple Inn, you see Japan, right? You see a bunch of little places. Hold on, you see Great Britain. Yes, this is on this land. You see Sweden, you see Cuba, you see China, you see Belgium, yep, Austria. All of these places were over here. All of these places, Italy, All of these places were over here, right on this land specifically, right? And this little thing that you see right here, you see how they got it a sky view? This is a sky view. This is this that I was just showing you. This is what this looked like from an east to west view. This is what that looked like, baby. When they got over here, that's what they saw, baby. They know what they saw, baby. Greatness. Come on, Morris, stand up. They know what they saw, baby. Greatness. You think we ain't had this whole land on lock? Come on, man. Come on, man. Slaves ain't built no White House. We did. We built all this. Morris did, baby. Ancient Morocco. Now, I'm gonna go back to this, because remember, if the new Morocco was founded in 1952, then that must have been the people that purchased this land and took the Jerusalem from over here and threw it over there. They took Morocco from over here and threw it over there, because we can find letters from George Washington writing to the Sultan of Morocco. So if the Morocco that's established over there in 1952, if that was just established, then this must have been the Morocco he was writing to. That's why they got Cahokia, Illinois, and you also got a Cahokia in what? Exactly, or Cairo, shall I say. You got a Cairo, Illinois, and they say the Cahokia mounds. We got a lot of mounds over here. We were mound builders. They didn't want to call us pyramid builders. They called us mound builders. Let's keep that in mind. You see, we got Tennessee over here, Idaho, fraternity. You see what I'm saying? Look at that. Virginia, Georgia. Come on, man. Like it never stops. You see, Missouri was way up here. So we in Missouri. I'm in Missouri right now, but how Missouri way up here? How is this a map of the land that I'm on right now? But Missouri is just a little teeny place next to Louisiana and Wisconsin and Ohio, New York. Why is New York all the way over here? How is New York all the way over here? Ohio, New York, Massachusetts, Minnesota. So clearly we had these places. North Jerusalem. For those who claim they're Israelites but don't even know where Israel is, this is Jerusalem, the holy city, buddy. Sorry, you got Iowa, you got Mississippi, and mind you, if you're wondering why it looks so confusing, you should be. They flipped your whole world upside down. So you see south is north, north is south, east is west, west is east. So you have to learn a whole new form of directions. And remember, that right there, if you're wondering where that compass comes from, I'll show you. The compass that you see, if you know nothing about the quote-unquote Mayan calendar, they do. It's right there, see? Make windows out of it, make all kinds of signs out of it. Let's keep that in mind. So that's where your compass comes from. This is how we knew how to navigate, right? Seeing that quote-unquote what they call Mayan calendar, what we call it the moral compass and mental magic. Of course, because we do not go by anybody else's names. Yeah, they said that we would never rise again, so hey, I just wanted to show y'all one more time so you can see just how deep this was and how good this particular land itself is. Instead of going everywhere else and looking everywhere else, remember, the west is east, the east is west. The north is south, the south is north. So they just kind of had it all flipped up. They kept the symbol the same, but they put the N up here, S down here. W over here, east over there. So now you think this is the west, and we think that's the east. But really, everything just kind of been what? Flipped. Right? So like I said, this is in 1904, just so you can see. Just so you can see the date, see we're not joking. That's in 1904. Now, if the new Morocco was established in 1925, March 2nd, I think, no, 1952, March 2nd, then who is that? Who is that little? And you see they got the little pyramids within there. Who is that specifically? See Jerusalem. Who is that? You see a lot of these different, they say Mexican restaurant. Who is that? Who and exactly what was that? You see India. You see Guatemala. You see Puerto Rico. Long before it was divided and separated into corporations and just made corporate states and corporate nations more. So going back to the actual natural nations, you see Cuba once again up in there. You see Italy. So when you see them talking about us basically running up in this or running up in that and doing that, no, we were basically right over here, buddy. See Annex, see the Philippines, right over here. All this is over here. The Philippine exhibition. You're seeing the top sky view, right? With the information right on the inside of it. Just letting y'all get a little. And you see Arrowhead Lake, right? Arrowhead Lake. You know we got Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, Missouri. Keep that in mind. I don't know if they got any. They got Arrowhead Lake in Kansas City, Missouri. So just letting y'all know how deep y'all history go. Who changed the names and the locations? Just go look. We didn't. The thing is, it never changed. Nobody can come and just change your home name. You know, when I came in here, they said that these were the Mississippian people. Think about that. Now, Little Egypt is not in Illinois. We need to change that around. Little Cairo is actually over there in the Egypt you believe is Egypt. This is the big Egypt. That's why everything is so ancient that it don't even look like we built pyramids over here, yet you're walking on them. That's why everything is so ancient that we only know what they told us. Keep that in mind. So no, that's not no Little Egypt. Sorry, that's miseducation. Remember, you're in a school right now. And you being in that school right now, Mental Magic, we have to correct each other, and we have to be willing to be corrected. Because remember, they flipped your mind upside down just by flipping your directions upside down. You think north is south.
Yeah, so this is just water down the side of a normal street, and it's literally boiling hot. We are near Mount Ruapehu and Mount Tongariro. They are volcanoes. Look at that steam, it's just coming off, just boiling through the ground.
You want to know a crazy universal truth though? If you want other people to love you, you're actually wanting love from yourself. If you want other people to accept you, it's because you actually don't accept yourself. See, the world is just a reflection of yourself. What you're searching for from the external world is really just what you're truly wanting from yourself. So you have to learn to fill yourself up first. And if you do that, you'll realize that you don't need anything from anyone.
Do you know that feeling when you walk in the street and someone follows you like very closely and you don't feel comfortable, but then you remember you are actually the one they should be scared of?
What up? What? What's going on, bud? Where the tuna at?
Come here. I want to pet you. You look fun.
Where are you
Where are
going?
you going? Get back here. Get back here.
Whoa! What are you doing? What does that mean?
The head of India's space agency was asked in an interview earlier this week, why do UFO sightings only occur over the Americas? He gave an interesting two-part answer. Let's take a listen to what his response was.
Scientific helps you discover the unknown. Scientistic makes you reject the unknown.
Maybe that's a good definition.
But let's actually speak about this alien situation, sir. How come UFOs are only spotted in America and South America? That's where you hear most of it.
See, many a times these type of observations are much more feasible in the northern latitudes, southern latitudes. See, you know, equatorial region are always cloudy. If you look at Africa, India, or the South Asian, all those nations are in the equator. The European, Northern European and American are in the northern latitudes. And on the southern latitude, you don't have any nation other than Australia.
Gotcha.
So, if any events of this nature, especially the events in the sky where there is, for example, auroras, you are able to see in the northern side. The solar related effects are mostly seen in the northern side. Even the cyclones and other activities are more on the other sides, not on the equator. Equator has a different climatic conditions, and mostly it is covered. The sky is mostly dark, not blue. If you go to US, you will see the sky to be more bluer than in India. It's not due to pollution alone. It's due to various the content of water vapor in there and many things. So this is scientific.
Right.
Now there is non-scientific reason. Americans have a nature to detect so many things all around and make a story out of it. And many of the UFO stories are mostly fabricated stories, not the real stories.
Many of them are.
Yeah,
but some of them might be true.
Maybe true, because I can't comment on it because I have not seen it yet.
He gave us two answers to the UFOs over America's question. One being the usual answer people bring up, which is Americans like to fabricate stories, be the center of attention, etc., etc. But his other part to the answer I did find interesting because you don't hear it as often, which is that there is a feasibility difference about your ability to even have a sighting in the first place based on whether you're closer to the equator versus closer to the poles. And that was, again, an interesting first principles perspective to get added to the lexicon. So, yes, the majority of sightings are either prosaic or fabrications, but there is still the 1 to 2% that is curious. And that's not only in the public sphere, but that's also what we hear coming out of official programs like the All Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which still has a set of cases, 1 to 2% of the time, that show anomalous behaviors that don't yet have a prosaic explanation.
Everything will start to make sense when you understand that the human race is literally under occupation. That's why everything is backwards. We're in a prison and we need to break out.
CIA is an espionage intelligence gathering tool. Espionage is illegal everywhere. Everywhere. Espionage is illegal inside the United States.
Right. So when you go kill bin Laden in Pakistan, technically that's illegal.
Completely illegal. The flight into Pakistan was illegal.
Right.
The U.S. troops on Pakistani soil was illegal.
Yeah.
Right. The killing of bin Laden wasn't legal. The taking of his body parts to prove that he was dead was illegal. Right. All that is illegal.
So like, because we talk to a lot of, ex-DEA people and people that know, we focus on the cartel here a lot in Mexico. And, these kingpins, high-level targets for the U.S. A lot of times CIA is, at least according to them, helping the DEA gather intelligence. So when they go snatch a guy from his peak in some jungle in Durango and fly him to the U.S., that's illegal.
Yep.
Wow. So the CIA does illegal all the time.
And here's why. So again,
do you see why? Wow. Call us all. Some people this might raise some questions.
No, I'm not calling anybody. I'm just saying you're not informed. You're not informed, and it makes sense because you're deliberately not informed. Right. So here's how it works. The federal government has, I think it's like 23 or 26 intelligence community members right now. Yeah. So IC, intelligence community. Army has an IC component, an intelligence component. Navy has an intelligence component. DEA has an intelligence component. IRS has an intelligence component, right? CIA is the central intelligence agency. All other intelligence comes through CIA to be turned into a final product, meaning a final intelligence report that's given to the president every single day, the president's daily brief.
Right.
All of those members of the intelligence community they all fall under the executive branch, and they're all granted what's known as an executive authority. That executive authority means this is the law of the land, but you, DEA, do not have to follow this law. You, FBI, do not have to follow this different law. You, NSA, do not have to follow this other different law. And of course, you, CIA, don't have to follow this other different law. So no one agency is granted leniency against the laws, but every agency is given a different presidential authority that prevents them from being prosecuted under the U.S. law for acts that support national security in that way.
That's incredible.
People don't realize this. It's in the law.
So this actually really surprised scientists when we first came across it. So when we started to be able to detect exoplanets, we kept finding these gas giants really close. And by close, I mean really, really close, like closer than Mercury is around their stars. And this surprised us because up until that point, we had kind of assumed that our solar system was normal, that a handful of rocky planets in the inner solar system and a handful of gas giants in the outer solar system was going to be pretty typical. And that was because we think that when planets form, where they form, so how close they are to their star, and thus how hot it is, influences what kinds of material they can form from. And this is still the case. We still think this is the case. But we kept finding Jupiter planets next to the sun. And so what this actually revealed to us is that planets don't have to stay where they formed. They can actually migrate. Now, planetary migration takes a really long time from a human perspective because it's these tiny nudges that are happening based on the pull, the tug and pull of gravity from other planets, from the star that it's around. It might get disturbed by another passing star. There's all sorts of things that can cause the planets and other objects to move around. But what we found is that it's actually pretty common for big planets to move in from farther out in the solar system and move in close next to their star. Now, we find a lot of these, and this may be because they are very common, but it also may be some detection bias on our part because it's easy for us to find planets that are close to their stars. It's easy for us to find big planets, and it's easy for us to find massive planets with the techniques that we have today. It's a lot harder for us to find planets that take years or decades to go around their star. It's harder for us to find little ones, and it's harder for us to find planets that don't have as much gravitational influence over their stars. So at the moment, it looks like these big, what we call hot Jupiters, because they're Jupiter-like and they're next to their star, so they're hot, are really, really common. But we may find that they don't quite dominate the planetary populations as much as it seems like they do in our data right now, as we get better and better telescopes and methods for detecting these exoplanets. But in the meantime, hot Jupiters are a really interesting topic to look into and learn more about.
Oh my god. You guys, they just found something over the pyramids. This is like revolutionary. What they found over the pyramids does not only prove that there is a grand unification theory of the whole universe, it proves that there is a magic that I'm going to name and tell you what it is, because this proves it, that you can harness with your mind. This is not a drill. Whoa. Okay, hang with me for like 30 seconds of backstory. There's many people who always say that there's magic in the Egyptian pyramids. There's hidden codes, there's ancient technology that harness energy. Robert Temple talks about it. Robert Edward Grant talks about it, and sacred geometry. Harmine, a physicist, talks about all these angles and how it harnesses shit. And Andrew Collins wrote an amazing book, The Cygnus Key, about how literally the Giza pyramids are aligned with the constellation of Cygnus to show evidence of sound acoustic technology. Okay, are you ready to hear what they found? You guys, they found plasma bubbles, specifically over the Egyptian pyramids and Midway Islands, whatever the frick is there. This is revolutionary. For those of you who don't know about plasma, I'm about to tell you why it literally equates to the stuff that people harnessed for magic in the past and what we can still harness to this day. And they harness it with ancient technology as well. And it's been a little secret because it gives us humans the power of free energy. You guys, this is gonna change the world. This is not a joke. So China has a radar called LARID. It detects plasma bubbles in the Earth's atmosphere. LARID detected plasma bubbles over the Egyptian frickin' pyramids. So they say that plasma bubbles are weather phenomena caused by a sudden disappearance of a large number of charged particles in the ionosphere. Okay, I'm just hypothesizing here. But basically, these are bubbles with depleted plasma density that can affect radio waves, GPS. What I think this is proof, I'm just hypothesizing, that there is like a wormhole or a portal that opens up over the pyramids in these charged places and basically almost like rips apart the plasma, which almost gets to still plasma, but a finer level of plasma, which is for interdimensional communication. And I don't know about you, but I've heard that people go in the pyramids and literally have spiritual experiences. This could explain why. This could be proof that the pyramids not only harness this ancient technology, energy plasma, that's very much futuristic, but they have to do with communication with our higher selves, our future selves, our interdimensional family.